They thought that the prop that held the sky had given way and we'd tumbled down.
But there was no fear today, as an estimated 2 million people flocked to the foreshores. Sydney Harbour itself was a sea of boats. Some paid up to $750 to watch the spectacle by air, others paid much more to hire a yacht. They were not disappointed.
Oh, St. Matilda, oh, St. Matilda, will you come a waltzing Matilda with me? And he sang as he shoved that John Buck in his tucker bag. He sang, will you come a waltzing Matilda with me? Up rode the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred, and up jumped the troopers, 1, 2, and 3.
Anyway, most people who live here now seem to think Australia is the best place in the world, and the rest of the world finds it difficult to argue.
But not everyone was celebrating the bicentenary. Aboriginals set up a protest embassy near the Opera House, and at least 15,000 people, both black and white, demonstrated by marching down the streets of Sydney. By the time they arrived at their destination, Hyde Park, there were many more. Organised by the Aboriginals, the Long March was a call for peace and justice. As they paraded, so did the tall ships in Sydney Harbour. HMAS Young Endeavour led the way, and few of the 2 million people on the banks of Sydney Harbour missed the spectacle. Celebrations, including a huge fireworks display, will continue tonight. Mike Lester, National 9 News.
And what Melbourne might have lacked in majesty, it more than made up for with enthusiasm. We began our day-long party with a huge breakfast, bright and early this morning, and Christopher Hill was somewhere out there.
No self-respecting Aussie celebrates a birthday on an empty stomach. At least these don't, and when the tucker's free, why should they? The air was charged and 3,000 early risers munched and slurped with gay abandon as they planned the day ahead. Enthusiastic? Yes. Altogether awake? No. After breakfast, it got a little more complicated. Australia Day activities left, right and centre, and all appearing simultaneously. So for those of us not quite sure where to be at what time, there was only one solution. Find a phone, dial the Bicentennial hotline, and nuke it.
This is John Newcomb for the National Australia Day Council. 1,000 swimmers are expected to compete in
this 4.8-kilometre event from Loy's Corner in Burnley to the boat sheds at Prince's Bridge is now a Melbourne institution, and absolutely nothing could deter the field of more than 600 from taking the plunge. Last year's winner and this year's favourite, Rob Woodhouse, surged to the lead and emerged victorious in the men's section, with Erica Wilkinson sliding in to take the ladies' honours. At about this time, patriotism was taking on all sorts of dimensions in the city square.
As Lord Mayor of the City of Melbourne, I welcome you all to this official ceremony of raising the Australian national flag.
But this wasn't the only flag to fly in the square today.
We'll show them our colours, the true colours of Australia.
About 100 Aboriginal protesters staged a demonstration in the midst of the ceremony. A minor scuffle erupted, but was quickly contained, and the salute continued as planned.
And part of every Australia Day celebration is the invitation to fly the flag. And this is just what's in store at the Australia Day Flag Parade, with around
30,000 other revellers had obviously heard about this one. They lined the route from the Burke Street Mall along Swanston Street, a sea of sunscreened faces and Aussie flags. It was a parade of 4,000 proud Australians, and Matilda wasn't the only one waltzing. There were no prizes for distinguishing who was really getting into the spirit of things and who had probably been at the early morning breakfast. The parade wound its way into Alexandra Gardens, where thousands of youngsters were doing their own thing in a bicentennial children's festival. With so much untapped energy concentrated in such a confined space, there were bound to be a few casualties. On the other side of the trees, 215 Regiment's Artillery Corps was signalling an end to the day's pomp and pageantry with a 21-gun salute. But as you take off your party hat and reflect on the day, spare a thought for Elaine and Neville Lindley. For our 200th birthday, they're reenacting a Cobb & Co coach run from Melbourne to Cairns, 6 months and 4,800 kilometres away. Christopher Hill, National 9 News.